Cat, that's my #1 fan. Your first I never debate, I put it in your hand. Your niggas never been out of America, Penang, Khartoum, I'm the man in Sudan. Now watch me do my end zone dance. Is that your friend home? It depends on chance and my pen gone. Where your old homies at? Oh, they been gone. The bearer shoot like Genesis. I ain't even keeping the score. These are scrimmages. Look at them attached to smash these appendages. That's why you ain't got no content. Every show you do, you steady talking about my shit. At your last show, Greg, it really wasn't it. You said Jabari stole the debate and threw a fit. I'm in Rock Squad, everybody see the split. And Magi the only ones left in this bitch. That's why I took the Facebook group from you. And you ain't try to tell nobody that. He like a fan, get robbed and be cool as long as don't nobody know. Yeah, that's how he act. Pip squeak pipe down. You ain't got no scholars, but you said you got you wiped down. Juju got you wiped down. Gozy got you wiped down. It's like your show. I'm killing pseudos right now. And you can't read that metal that I write down. Then I prove Kemet mean black people, they tight now. Said I smack your ass, bully, don't wanna fight now. Few of these give a nigga Z's with the nightgown. And teach a nigga about the smack migration. Had atheist dudes pouring black libations. Cause the Mac tried patience, but they acted like they hard-headed. So fuck it, they could all get it. That's right, I bust your pinata, act like Nepal said it. Y'all edit up videos that give your dog credit. Authentic author, carcinogenic artist. Y'all should caution your authors. It's been a minute since I checked these feminine minutes. They timid with it, it's Magi for life. And Kemet winning, unlimited images invented by Kemet women. Celestial pools of life, and I'm swimming in them finna kill them. They snakes, but they ain't got no venom in them. Really never watch their shows, I'm done dealing with them. When I hear your voice, it's hard to feel a nigga. Sister Naya wrote your book and it was 30 pages. Hey, they jealous of Jabari. The Magi bring the ladies and the fellas to the party. Just embellishing my intelligence, hell if I be Gotti. Magi just caught a body. I don't know, and they ain't got no recourses. Get them on their show when they won't show sources. 350Z is dropped, it got horses. Little niggas tripping, should've stayed on their porches. Y'all ride poor, my nigga, we ride Porsches. Y'all Wikipedia scholars, we take courses. And the experts agree with me. Kemet on trial, wasn't nothing but G's with me. Brought my New York niggas out. Kemet straight black, yeah, you know what this shit about. Check the pinky, bro, who wearing the ring. If you see me in the streets, bitch, salute the king. I wouldn't pity a thing, I'm like Idi Amin. My committee sent me defending with the wittiest schemes. Hideous schemes, really it's the silliest thing for you to think that you could get me. On this mic, I'm more like Don Cornelius. Raise your hand if you never done an encore. I write the rhymes DJs drop bombs for. Sitting low, hitting grass with the blade spinning. That's a lawnmower. Y'all should hang that up. That Karakuni interview don't even bring that up. I mean, this the type of nigga steal Moringa from Chief X. When you strung out, stealing is a reflex. I'm killing them, they don't want no beef next. I'm the Bruce Lee of the loose leaf text. If I do seem best, I'm in a new clean test, getting charged up while you're boosting next. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Hey. Smash just killed the whole pseudo killers. Smash just killed the whole pseudo killers. Smash just killed the whole pseudo killers. Yeah, we stay in the building, boy. That energy don't die, it don't go nowhere. They know that. Same energy, keep that energy, man. You feel me? When Kemet on top, I got questions. We got questions. We got some real ass questions today, but we're gonna kick it for a minute. Shout out to the fam bam in the building already. I've been so busy, man. I've been thinking like, damn, I ain't been having time to stream. I know I got my supporters, I got people. I'll be like, damn. You know, but you gotta do life, man. You gotta do life. Let me see. And I've been making advancements, and so everybody gonna be proud of how it's going down. But I'm gonna drop another banger real quick. Maybe a couple of them just cause we chilling. Y'all ain't heard them bangers in a minute. Stop playing. So, hey, let's have some fun. I know you don't smoke no more, family, but you were very high. Trying to run up on Smash. The boys fought they fight, had an illiterate leader, that's why they thought they right. I know you ain't back fucking with cracks, but you was tripping saying Egyptians wasn't black, bro. Got your ass cracked by Karakuni. She said they definitely were black. Your face looked like you. You forgot to take your DoorDash order out of the backseat. You was very high. They want to talk to Egyptologists. You show me a degree and don't show me what college it is. And even though you was a crack fiend, bruh, still know you was a black king, bruh. While I was rocking stages with my crew in 92, cause that's my occupation, bruh. You got arrested on the stump in Baltimore, hella distant. Very high. Man, don't make me pull out this paperwork. If that's your hypothesis, nigga, make it work. And when you said 8 or 13%, you meant 8 out of 13 STRs, boy. Yeah, your mans went and messed that up. You're not a leader, boy, you never could compare my king. See that crown, boy, never could wear that thing. You want sources? Nigga, let me share my screen. Hey, Ruth, you know what I'm talking about, Corey? You was high. Alright, don't get in that vibe, you know what I mean? I might even have to hard coop on him one time. But we ain't tripping. We'll hit him back with the old school classic and get it poppin'. Oh yeah, party people in the building. You know the livest show on the internet when it comes to that knowledge, man. Don't let me have some time on my hands. They all get to scattering. They get to running. Closing their mouths cause there's magi archers in the building. Y'all know how we do. Shout out to my astute researchers who don't never waver. You don't switch up, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hey! Black Egypt on top. All them little clowns and frauds, they won't stop. So I speak like I'm chic and shout out for the contribution. Stop saying it's black. We not. I refuted your Egyptologist. She hot. I just hit her with some primary. She ain't got. She a PhD. Yeah, we know now. I made the PhD. Take the video down. Met Patti Sutni Neal. If you apply yourself, they can't see you. Used to be my main man till you got beat up. Having fights over Egypt. Fights over Egypt. Huh? Fights over Egypt. Azar black, I said black. Horus black, don't say that to me. Azar black, I said black. Horus black. Fights over Egypt. Black gods. Magi archers, we killed the black silk. It was all black when the pyramid built. Wanna learn like us, ain't a course for that. Kemet mean black silk, that ain't a source for that. Ain't a source for that. Now they made that up. Newbie wig had a white braid that up. Garfield wanna know why I'm ahead of your player. When I was studying, you was selling credit repair. And when you wrote your little book, why wasn't the editor there? When I see you, I'ma say, nigga, come here. Stumbles and fumbles when bumping his guns, but he don't wanna rumble. The nigga got humbled and then he said, yeah. You can say that. You can say that. The experts say you can say that. You can call them black people. But I'm saying though, why would they say that? We magi archers too. And I be hella patient trying to walk with you. But now we just debating when I talk to you. I think cats just hate cause I brought the truth. Yep, you brought the truth. Kemet don't mean no black land, it's more like black city. Cause of the black people in it. I hit up Egyptologists and make them admit it. And I keep receipts. You're like Zahi Hawass, you need your ass beat. You a dog when the charlatan doing all you can to stop what's black. All right, and let's marvelous. Get to it. Cause I got questions. Man, that album, first of all, let me share that for y'all. Cause that album Fights Over Egypt. That's straight clap right there. Shout out to all the supporters who be bumping that already. You know, if you hip hop, you could just hurt them with that record because you could just throw it on while y'all chilling and your man's gonna be like, what's that? What's that? You feel me? That's how I like putting out shit, but we're gonna get back on the main line. But make sure y'all get that record. You feel me? So what's up? Kemet mean black people. That's what Sheik Antijope said. Right? I don't think he made no mistakes. But I got a question. I got a big screen question. And shout out to Dr. Ma'at. all the moves she done made to make sure the children know that the Egyptians was black people. And I was just smoking a joint, and I started thinking. I was like, damn. I wonder what Dr. Ma'at think about First of all, nigga be trying to be all on her page every other day. You know how cats be. But what Dr. Ma'at feel about slandering her whole business? Mail tracks. Let's tap in with some mail tracks real quick. We've been supporters of mail tracks, right? He done slandered the whole mail tracks. Damn, man. So how you just gonna be, oh man, that make me be thinking, I don't even understand. See? I wanna go back. We're going back. I should have looked that up, but it just popped in my head. Let me see. What up with due diligence? Who remember the mail tracks videos? I gotta find that. I don't see it, but it make me feel like, dang, that's kind of like a cold abandonment, and then you be all on somebody's line, right? We gonna pull that up and show that. We gonna, cause mail tracks is something y'all still need to buy and still get that to the kids. I ain't finding it though. Cause when cats got the slandering, all that work got just swept under the table. You feel me? So we gonna take y'all back to some of the things that they just tried to ignore. How thoroughly we put it on display. Oh, let me see. What's up, y'all? All right, here we go. No, that's something else. It's cool. But we did have a video series. Shout out to KB. Nice contribution. Appreciate you. We did have a video series worked on by the youth and our sister, Dr. Ma'at, that was set out to teach the history, African history, and particularly the history of Egypt. We can't switch that up. We got the animations. And to show the youth that the ancient Egyptians were black people. What happened to that? What happened? I really just want to know what happened. Like y'all can tell me. Hold on. What? Hold on one more time. What happened to that? Let me show y'all something. Because we've been teaching. So for all the non-believers, you about to learn something. If it's your first time tuning in and you just watched that title, you tripping. Yeah. If y'all find that mail tracks, we bringing that up because I ain't found that yet. Let me try to pull it up one more time with the title you just put in. Betrayed the sister. Threw her whole project under the bus. I still support her. She was 100% right. And that was some good work. by Dr. Mod. I can't find it though. I'll pull it up. It's all good. We could go on and get to this old school joint. It wasn't no flaw in Dr. Shikantish Diop's argument. It needed refining, and we learned things. Arrows up. We could keep on asking questions. Now, they was trying to close down the question session I had. Nah, we right back to it. We is right back to it. Now, this is one of the reasons why I respect this sister so much. Because it worked like this. At Anime Productions. In Mailtrex exploring the Ma'afa, students' journey to Africa, guided by Kwaku, learning about Portuguese and African resistance. View now. Let's watch the trailer.
There are many films about slavery, told through foreign lenses. Now witness the full story from an African perspective.
That's good too, and I'm supporting that too. But we this got episodes, so we gotta know this is a good thing, right? Come on now. Don't play with all this wonderful work.
This summer, Ed Anime Productions presents Meltrek, Episode 1, Exploring Ancient Africa. Witness the most accurate historical account of African-American people. A story that has never been told like this before. Join Bunchy, Chen, Percy, Michelle, and Jesse as they open their third eyes and are sent back in time by their magical teacher, Miss Lofton. They begin their adventure in ancient Africa in the Nile Valley. There, they meet a young Egyptian boy named Ramesses. Using hip-hop, funky beats, and rhymes, Ramesses teaches the children about the great kingdoms of Africa.
Damn.
They explore the Nile Valley.
The Nile Valley was a place to be. Ghana is the first stop. Land of the gold that they sold non-stop.
Mali and Songhai.
Mali and Songhai must have had some serious armies.
The Congo.
The Congo region is beautiful.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe's where we land.
And Zulu.
What happened to that?
Witness
What
the
happened
mental
to
and
that?
spiritual
Come on,
transformation of the currents.
What happened to that?
Not only will they transform, but you will also, as you travel with
Everybody.
Meltrek. Let's resurrect the spirit of our ancestors inside
do
all
it.
of us.
Spirit
And
of our
recall that
ancestors.
we all come from greatness, so we can be great.
We're going to a
happened to
different
that?
time zone where our ancestors always sat on the throne.
Ancestors?
Yeah. And I'm talking about you and me. Our reputation considered greatest in royalty. So rise up, sons and daughters of a KB land. It's time to claim our riches and take back our land. So come and take this journey, and when you come back, tell your friends and family all about the Meltrek.
Tell them about it, y'all. Hey, everybody. Come on, Dr. Mod. I got you. I got you for a song for the next version. So fuck with me. I'm still smashed. I ain't switched up shit. Feel me? Now, let's get to this. This is good teachings.
Come, let me show you.
Hold on, man. Get me off this full screen.
Back in 3000 BC, the Nile Valley was the place to be for you and me. The Nile River gave abundantly to human beings. I'm speaking of the ancestors of you and me.
So Ankh say this a lie. I'm supposed to be, no, you got to see me. So this a lie, huh? Show the youth this, man. Don't let that negative energy, not believing in nothing energy come through and change your whole skit.
Come, let me show you. Back in 3000 BC, the Nile Valley was the place to be for you and me. The Nile River gave abundantly to human beings. I'm speaking of the ancestors of you and me.
The ancestors.
The melanin people, they rose. Had mad food and gold to the extent nobody knows. Story filled with holes, but we know. They build nations, form civilizations. I could show you everything, but I need your patience. There's so many places that we can start.
That's
so I'm
flat.
gonna pick Egypt, cause it's my heart.
Hold on. Let's go back. I like that bar. What they say?
I'm gonna pick Egypt, cause it's my heart.
Let's go back.
That we can start. So I'm gonna pick Egypt, cause it's my heart. So kids, they built the pyramids, perfectly aligned with the sun, moon, and stars. So honor did, so mathematics.
So they tried to come through and debunk mail tracks. Ooh. Cats got out here and tried to debunk mail tracks. Tell me where I'm wrong. No, it ain't like that. You know, we from the same place, so you know we keep it street.
Your patience, there's so many places that we can start. So I'm gonna pick Egypt, cause it's my heart. So kids, they built the pyramids, perfectly aligned with the sun, moon, and stars. So honor did, so mathematics was a must. They had equations.
What they lie at so far in this video? I gotta keep going back. It's like a remix.
So kids, they built the pyramids, perfectly aligned with the sun, moon, and stars. So honor did, so mathematics was a must. They had equations way before.
And y'all ain't even promoting this. Y'all some suckers. This is probably the biggest thing you could have got behind. Now tell me, man, this make me mad. Just don't get behind this because you really don't believe it on the under. And in a few years, you're going to let everybody know you didn't believe that shit anyway.
Gonna pick Egypt.
I'm not talking about Dr. Mahat. I'm talking about people who abandoned this whole theory that she was teaching.
So I'm gonna pick Egypt, cause it's my heart. So kids, they built the pyramids, perfectly aligned with the sun, moon, and stars. So honor did, so mathematics was a must. They had equations way before there was Pythagoras. This is other pyramids prove they knew the solar system too. Aligned with the sunrise and set in the moon. They give religion to the world too. I cannot accept this one God respect due. And we can't forget the son of God, the God who rule. Now there's hundreds of religions, but they're all new. The magic letter on the walls is our living proof. It's the oldest writing system, so there's the truth. You can find it on the temples, pyramids, and Tekkens. We develop papers so you can learn these lessons. If they can, we can. But
That's bars.
now there's hundreds of religions, but they're all new. The magic letter on the walls is our living proof. It's the oldest writing system, so there's the truth. You can find it on the.
So let's go on and take that right there. But I want him to finish his bar. Shout out to the young man who did this verse. It's good.
Temples, pyramids, and Tekkens. We develop papers so you can learn these lessons. If they can, we can, but you gotta take it back. Learn your history with me through Mel Track. Let your mind evolve. Take pride in who you are. To let the world see you stand tall. If they can, we can, but you gotta take it back. Learn your history with me through Mel Track. Let your mind evolve.
That was hot, man. Anyway, they done went from that to everything else. Let's go on and take them back. I'm having some fun. Right? So somebody who new to the channel is probably like, what does that prove? Imagine being new to this channel. I mean, you know, shout out to y'all. I love y'all. New in support of the title is tight. New smacking your lips at the title, you about to be in for it. Cause we didn't bust that whole shit open. It ain't no more questions about that. I'm so embarrassed by getting called experts by PhDs so much now. It's not cool. Like, I don't like that. It's patronizing. Don't do me like that. I'm not on it like that. And when I step in the room, I don't need that attention. You feel me? But we ain't doing no baby work. Ain't nobody disrespecting this work, but unscrupulous people. Or however I should have said that. You know what I mean. But we can take them back. Because we show things ain't nobody show. In particular, there being no... Now, people don't understand the weight and the magnitude of this claim that I'm about to say. So let me just illustrate it for you. There is no source, no primary source that substantiates the weight and the magnitude and the use and the explanation that Kemet has anything to do with black silk. Period. That's one they couldn't get around. Nobody got around that. And all the smart people put that into their repertoire of shit to say when talking about Egypt. Now, I'm going to come out this presentation and show y'all why that's so significant. Because this is a challenge to you and anybody online watching this video right now. Google the word Kemet and find a definition of it without this disclaimer. Trust me. Watch this. Man, come on, man. Let me show you some shit. Watch this. Google the word Kemet and watch what happens. I'm going to show you. Every single time in every European definition of the word, they're going to do something they don't do with other definitions. Notice what I'm saying, and this is my charge. No matter what dictionary we go into right now, they about to say the reason why Kemet is defined the way it is. If I look up sunlight, they'll just tell me what sunlight is. They're not going to tell me why it's defined that way. One definition in everything I ever looked for has a disclaimer attached to it. Now let me prove it. I mean, I'm just going to go to any frivolous everywhere when you look up the word Kemet, and it's going to say the same thing. And so this is what spawned my research. Kemet, now look, the first AI overview did it. Let me show you. This is what you're about to notice. It says Kemet refers to the ancient name of Egypt in the Egyptian language, meaning the black land. Now that's the end of it. That's the end of the definition. But every time you see this word defined anywhere, they're going to amend this to it. Derived from the fertile, dark soil left by the Nile's annual floods. What other definitions do they do that with? Let's go to the Griffin Institute. The Egyptians called their country Kemet, literally the black land. Kemet meant black in ancient Egyptian. That's the end of it. What they amend, as if they were taught this in Egyptology, is this second part. The name derived from the color of the rich, fertile black soil, which was due to the annual occurring of the Nile inundation. every source is going to have the second sentence on there. So me being the type of person I am, I'm like, oh, the fix is in. Then that's a good research question. What substantiates that claim? I can continue. You can put it in ChatGPT. You could go anywhere. They're going to amend that to it. The ancient name of Egypt, they're going to keep saying, oh, it means the soil. Because it's part of what they got taught. The teacher, so our research, as limited and as novice or whatever as it may be, has shown people there is no ancient Egyptian source that links the word Kemet to the black soil. Now, the reason why I was speaking slowly there is because I wanted to make sure I said that correctly. The word for soil is amat. And to prove further our point, we find primary, and we don't do secondary sources when making claims like this. We found primary attestations when they want to talk about the black soil. Just like, how many words did I say? This is simple. I said 2 words. What are the word classes for these words? Black soil, adjective, and a noun. See? So if I just say soil, I said the noun without an adjective describing it. So in ancient Egyptian, you switch that around. The adjective comes afterwards. We found in text, when they wanted to say black soil, they say amat kemet. So the same thing applies. Amat is soil. Kemet is black. If you just say amat, you're not telling people what color the soil is. If you say kemet, ain't no way in the world you talking about soil. Ain't no attestation that do that. We look through the majority of them. I don't want to be exhaustive. We look through a lot of them, right? And it's never used that way. So that opened up a can of worms. Because Kemet was the black land. We all agree on that. All the scholars admit that. Even these books admit that. But they say, hold on, let me tell you why. It's because of the soil. Now, so in order to prove that what I thought, let me see. In order to prove our research was solid, I called up one of the leading epigraphers in Egyptology. So whatever you got to say don't even got nothing to do with nothing. We had to sit down. Let me get me off the screen twice. And, you know, I could imagine being him with all of his skill. Shout out to Dr. Jonathan Winterman. I could imagine being him, right? With all of his skill, all of his training, and all of his everything. And looking at me on this live stream the way he's looking right now, thinking I'm about to come Afrocentrist. And so I know it sounds already like it's kind of loaded, the question, but it's really not, because actually we were spending a while doing this research, and there's nothing that attests to what Sir Sonoran says can be found in Egyptology
kind of more authoritarian systems of
Hold up, I'm gonna find this
what
one.
comes out in Coptic as Kema or normal Egyptian population. But again, we don't have any of this. As
Sincerely means inhabitants of and
of
this was a wonderful conversation, and if you're interested, you probably should look at us talk.
when we're dealing with Egyptian direction more vigorously, much more violently.
This is my next question, I think. He would have just went east after we talked about this, I think. We talk about the black silk. I hope I can just pull it up quick. I think it's in this segment. So when I ask myself then, if I'm the artist then and I'm trying to say something and I'm pressed for space and I have a glyph that fits. He was tripping right here.
About like, why did they?
Thank you for that answer. So I just got these up here. Now here it is. So let's listen to this discussion. First of all, questioning why this 049 glyph, which is the X in the circle right here, why they are trying to say that that means land. First and foremost. And let's hear. And then it's going to lead to the question of where did you get this black silk stuff from? And he's going to give us a wonderful admission that you probably cannot find anywhere else in Egyptology or on YouTube. This is a first of a kind admission. The fun of it because some confusion about the 049 town determinative. It doesn't appear to be. I don't know what first of a kind is, but y'all know what I mean. Confusing to me when I do look over various texts of how it's used. And I'm trying my hardest to find another term where they strictly and specifically attach 049 to the root and say that it means land. In most instances, it means a town, a city situation, or something like that. But when we translate Kemet, it supposedly translates back to the black land. Now, in Jesheret, we have this Kasat determinative, which would be indicative of, foreign countries, hill country, and they use it for desertous area, which we also have here translated back as land. Do you know what I'm missing about this 049 glyph and how in this word Kemet is translated to mean land?
Yeah, so again, so one thing that I will say first, I hope you'll be excited that I can provide other examples of, regions that are given the city determinative.
Okay.
So especially when they say Ta Mehu, the land of Lower Egypt, or
now anybody who's a student, if you're an archer, you caught that. Cut it out, bruh. I wasn't about to over challenge you, but I want y'all to follow the discourse. He don't got no answer for what I just said. And I'm not no kid. I know this language. You just said out your mouth the word for land, ignoring my inquiry completely. I'm saying this word, Kemet, don't got a ta in it. Ta means land. Come on, y'all. Shout out to us. We know this. Ta means land. So I'm even going to point that out to him politely, but I'm not going to let that be the reason. Notice what he did here. He came back with a word that has the ancient Egyptian word for land in it. This term that we're scrutinizing doesn't have a ta in it. It's only Kemet. So where are you getting land from? So I'm not excited, but I didn't want to be disrespectful because he said, I hope you be excited. I'm like, what? Translated to mean land.
Yeah, so again, so one thing that I will say first, I hope you'll be excited that I can provide other examples of, regions that are given the city determinative.
Okay.
So especially when they say Ta Mehu, the land of Lower Egypt.
Maybe he didn't understand my inquiry because he said he can provide other instances of region that lose the 049. I'm asking, how are you saying that this 049 means land when there's no statement of land in the root.
Or Shamau, Upper Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they'll give those city determinatives. Not always,
No, I'm with you.
but sometimes.
I'm with you on those, but that appears unfair because they literally say land there. Ta.
Sometimes, but not always. So
Now, y'all know that's crazy. Sometimes, but not always is fine. But if it's omitted, if I can get you to admit that the ta is omitted in those terms, then I can move on to the next subject. Because there's no omitted ta in the term Kemet.
sometimes it's Ta Mehu, sometimes it's just Mehu, sometimes it's Ta Shamau, sometimes it's just Shamau.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
And even when we see Shema'u, we know they talk about Ta Shema'u. And Mehu, we know they talk about Ta Mehu.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ta is omitted.
Yeah, but again,
So the ta is omitted. There's no omitted ta in this term Kemet. So far, we don't know why Egyptologists start saying that this meant land. Now you have to follow this. All right? And we getting it. And we take it to the top. We don't just sit on YouTube and look at paid trolls from, who trying to steal Egypt. And listen to what they say. We take it to the top of academia and ask our questions. Let's see what happens with this black silk.
So going back to now your question about whether we should translate Kemet as the land of Egypt, you're quite correct here in saying that there's nothing clearly in this word or in.
So he had to admit it, y'all. Shout out to Jonathan. I don't think he had no weird stuff going on. We're correct. There's nothing in this word to say land. So all we dealing with is the black. We're going to get to it. So we dealing with the black. There's no word for land, and we ain't got no source to let you know that this black mean anything about the soil. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The kind of attestations of this word to say the land of versus Egypt. What this literally says is that which is black.
So let's stop. Dr. Jonathan Winneman says what this literally says is that which is black. I was proud that I was able to get the discourse to this point. And not knowing, this is just a discourse, but I'm Smash Rockwell. So I'm going to push the conversation in the direction the way it needs to go. Jonathan and Jonathan, right? Well, hopefully I represented well, But anyway, check it out. He just said it means that which is black. Not the black land. So you can take this as your most, unless you got a definition from a newer scholar with this much credentials telling you what Kemet mean, you can say that this is your most up-to-date definition of what Kemet mean that you didn't seen on YouTube. Stop fronting. You ain't seen nobody newer come no newer. No, this is the most up-to-date definition of Kemet. That which is black. I was proud that he admitted that. So my question next was this, and you probably could anticipate it.
Like the abstract black thing.
So the abstract black thing.
And then from there, people have added their own flair and nuance in translations, possibly, and again, maybe this is where maybe where your research is getting at something, but possibly in an inconsistent way with other geographic terms.
Stop. So people have added their own flair. No, people been lying. Do y'all hear this? People been adding their own flair onto this. Probably in inconsistent ways, and that's what my research is getting at. Y'all hear that? But y'all ain't saying that, though. The archers know what's up. So that's what my research is getting at, how people have been expounding on the term Kemet in their own way. So, you know, my brain's still working in the interview. Let's see what I can come with. Very much so. Now, when the scholars, and they've all came to a consensus of somewhat what you told me, then the question is, what is which black? You know what I'm saying? What? You ain't about to tell me Kemet mean that which is black. That's why he's smiling. We both were smiling. Because this question is funny. You're not about to get up out of here, family. What is, well, because the question is that which is black. So the question is, what is that which is black? You feel me? What is that which is black? Dr. Jonathan Winterman, answer the question. Stop playing with me. Let's do it. Let's see what it is. And we'll get to the bottom of this black suit shit, because the best experts gonna tell the truth, because you got the right questions. And it comes down to, again, the people of the soil. So I'm gonna look, and it comes down to, again, that's the only time. I said that probably a few times, but I was laughing at how many times dudes show DJ Academic saying again. You could do that in the conscious community too. But it comes down to the people or the soil. That's me saying that to the expert. If you want to throw something else in that black reality, I allowed him to do so. But I was being polite and said, I'm going to set the people to the side for a minute and see if we could play poker with the soil. Then the question is, what is which black? You know what I'm saying? And it comes down to, again, the people of the soil. So I'm going to leave the people thinking along a bit and try to see what scholars leaned on besides secondary sources to come to the conclusion that the blackness that this referred to was the Nile silt. What did scholars use besides secondary sources? Now that look on his face is I gotta finish my question before I talk about the look on his face. What do scholars use besides secondary sources to come to the conclusion that that which is black in the name Kemet is the soil? Now, if I can zoom in on what I see in the look of his face, is that he got a good conscience and a good spirit. Because right at that moment, he had to ask himself what he was about to do. But he already kind of like seen that he couldn't go no other direction with this one. So he just was an honest man at this point. And don't forget the question. Did I forget the question? What do scholars lean on to say that this referred to the soil? Let's hear his answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the, unfortunately, I think one of the major conclusions or one of the major influences here is there is a racist element.
Let's stop. He thinks one of the major conclusions here is there's a racist element. Let me rewind that back. I don't know if he said conclusions. told me. Then the question is, what is which black? You know what I'm saying? And it comes down to, again, the people of the soil. So I'm going to leave the people think along a bit and try to see what scholars leaned on besides secondary sources to come to the conclusion that the blackness that this referred to was the Nile silt.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the, I mean, unfortunately, I think one of the major conclusions or one of the major influences here is there is a racist element, certainly, in the history of scholarship. But two, I think there's nothing that I know of necessarily. Like, there's no one text that I can point you to. And again, this is not my area of expertise, so maybe I'm missing something here. But there's not one text that I can point you to that specifically says, by Kemet, we mean the black silt. And
oh, I got sound bites. Matter of fact, y'all could go and take that to TikTok. Get y'all money. Y'all tripping. You know how hard that's about to hit on TikTok? Man, you tripping. Don't edit that up. Bow. Post just that part. Because people are going to say, what? What's that from?
unfortunately, I think one of the major conclusions or one of the major influences here is there is a racist element, certainly, in the history of scholarship. But two, I think there's nothing that I know of necessarily. Like, there's no one text that I can point you to. And again, this is not my area of expertise, so maybe I'm missing something here. But there's not one text that I can point you to that specifically says, by Kemet, we mean the black silt, and specifically silt.
Damn.
And the
Now I'm about to go further. We got him right there, boy. He said by Kemet we mean and specifically silt. Oh my gosh, we told y'all this. So guess what they started doing after this? This was dealt such a blow to the detractors, those people who want you to think Meltrex was a lie. This dealt such a blow to them that they stopped relying on primary sources. That's when you know your argument's strong, bro. I ain't patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, I done sat around people who taught me about sources. Back 10 years ago, cats was like, man, check this out. You just gotta have the sources, you know, sources. Soon as you prove something, they get to asking scholars, well, how do you know if you ain't got sources? How do y'all do that? How do y'all come to conclusions when y'all don't got sources? You don't actually need a source for everything. Let's listen to what he said again. We'll see what scholars leaned on besides secondary sources to come to the conclusion that the blackness that this referred to was the Nile silt.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the, unfortunately, I think one of the major conclusions or one of the major influences here is there is a racist element, certainly.
Dude, that was the way I'm not on, let me just say something, fuck it. The way that I asked that question forced him to go back to the people. I sat the people to the side. Y'all got to peep game. Just peep ultimate game. You don't know how to think. If I say to you, I'm going to sit the people to the side for a minute and ask you a question probing about something else. See, I must have had to been, they need me to be an interrogator, bro. They need me to interrogate. It'll be the first two. Not the first 48. It's going to be the first 15 minutes. My show's going to be called the first 15 minutes. Because I said, look, homie, I know I got you, man. You know you done fucked up, don't you? I ain't told him that yet, but here it come. I'm interrogating you, right? And I said, all right, we're gonna put the murder to the side for a minute. We're gonna stop talking about the people. Let's talk about the soil Or let's talk about the party you was at. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I asked him a question about the soil, he went right back to the people. Because you can't be racist about soil. See, racism implies people. So if they was being racist, they thought that the black meant the people. Y'all don't see how easy this is? I wish I was in the court of law right now. I'll be shining on that jury. Like, hey, we going to eat after this. Tell me if I was in the court of Kemet law right now, debate, whatever, you could get around that. Okay, I want to sit Dr. Professor, Dr. Super Esteemed Credential, Jonathan Winterman. I don't want to talk about the people for a moment. I want to talk about what sources y'all had to come to the conclusion that this was about the soil. That's like me saying the opposite. Oh, well, I think it was about the fertilizer. I would have said fertilizer, you took it right back to the soil. Racism, you took it right back to the people. Ooh. So even, that's why I credited him for this interview so much. And let's continue. He's not going to be shy. He tell you twice. He says it once, racism, and then twice he going to double down, watch. And it comes down to, again, the people of the soil. So I'm going to leave the people thing alone a bit and try to see what scholars leaned on besides secondary sources to come to the conclusion that the blackness that this referred to was the Nile silt.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the, unfortunately, I think one of the major conclusions or one of the major influences here is there is a racist element, certainly, in the history of scholarship. But two, I think there's nothing that I know of necessarily. Like, there's no one text that I can point you to. And again, this is not my area of expertise, so maybe I'm missing something here. But there's not one text that I can point you to that specifically says, by Kemet, we mean the black silt, and specifically silt, and the land as opposed to people.
And the land as opposed to people. He had to deal with it. God, y'all don't see how powerful this was? Like, I mean, to keep it real, I'm about to chop this up and chop up hella small clips from this. I just don't be having time to do so much. But I had posted one clip on Instagram that y'all seen before, and it was about ancient Egyptians being black people. And that shit got 200,000 views. On Instagram, it got like 150 in 4 days. So I'm gonna take some of these clips and get them out to the world. People ain't seeing all this. So let's listen to what he says for the last time, and we can continue. Because people be having to hear stuff over and over. I didn't did a whole year of this, 4 years of this.
Silt, and
specifically the silt. So it ain't no source on that. To come to the conclusion that the blackness that this referred to was the Nile silt.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the, unfortunately, I think one of the major conclusions or one of the major influences here is there is a racist element, certainly, in the history of scholarship. But two, I think there's nothing that I know of necessarily. Like, there's no one text that I can point you to. And again, this is not my area of expertise, so maybe I'm missing something here. But there's not one text that I can point you to that specifically says, by Kemet, we mean the black silt. And
damn, let me show y'all something. I'm gonna go to my page, and I want to go to post. I don't know how many of y'all seen this post. Let's look at it. Cause they not like us, bro. Hold on. They not like us. shout out to the head of the Egyptology department at Cal Berkeley, Dr. Rika DeLucarelli. Shout out to Achille Tomasino. I didn't want to say your name wrong. Uh-oh. Oh, lunch was wonderful. Shout out to Professor Young, if I'm saying your name right. Shout out to my 2 young PhDs to the right of me, Egyptologists. Shout out to my archer. Shout out to the gallery manager of the Hearst Museum. And shout out to my other PhD brother right here. Dang, what am I even doing here? I mean, to be among such esteemed people is just an honor. Right? I'm telling you this. I'm saying this. This is an honor. It's like the highest for the work that I do. To be recognized. When I'm telling you how to dominate a table of Egyptologists with inquiries that they say, damn, you didn't kill this hoe. Let's listen to you for a minute. Get that black silt out of here. Don't let nobody even bring that up. Unless you got a source on that and then you hit the soup. Hit the soup from your cup. From your spoon. One time. Ooh, this was a wonderful meeting and I was honored to be here. And I'm going to start trying in my space. They know we archers. They know they in academia. They don't, it's like 2 different playing fields. They not about to be on YouTube doing this, but we all sitting there talking about everything we talk about right now. So when I say that the archers got that information that really, really, really is not like a boast. It's saying, dog, this is it. Like, this is what we've been talking about. This is what we've been saying. Shout out to the contribution from Yas Chosen, who says, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, just want a better understanding. If Kemet was black, why pharaohs of some dynasties have white haplogroups? Oh, that's a good question. But if you look into that haplogroup, and we got a brother named Kamji Verse, you should watch his show. He can show some of that haplogroup probably starting in the Chad area, right? But yeah, there's a lot to that conversation about haplogroups, and so I don't want to go too far, but I will recommend watch Kamji Verse. Kamji be going in, and if we open up the chat, hopefully he could pop in and answer some questions. So that's all we was on. I wasn't showing this whole thing. I was making a presentation. But I had to stop and say, hold on, man, cats really don't know. If they new to this show, they might think we just like any other YouTube. So when I say Kemet meant black people right there, you can see we at the highest level. And he said he ain't got nothing to say that Kemet mean the soil versus the people, remember? It's like, it ain't nothing that make you lean towards the soil over the people. So we had Professor Sikent Diop, who already did the work to say, no, Kemet actually does mean black people. So we had opponents of that view. And particularly, Asar, shout out, he can still be found on YouTube doing his work. But a lot of the people who supported that view, they didn't live, that didn't let them live. It was a small lifeline. They was on a dead-end street driving hella fast. Got right to the end and shit. But let me show y'all something. And this is just a challenge. Because we find all of these Kemets. And so we use the determinatives to determine what the category of the word is. So you don't actually see two words on the screen. We see one word, Kim, and then we see its determinative or classifier. I think we see I6 and O49. I6 being the Kim glyph, O49 being the city determinative. And these are the Gardner sign codes that you can look up right on Wikipedia and get these same symbols. If you say Gardner 049 and put that in in Google, this will pop right up. The bottom one will. So far, when you see this and you're not leaning on any Egyptological references, nothing here indicates anything about soil. And I even question how you could expand this to land. And he gave back a word with land in it, Tashama'u, which means Ta means land, and 049 still represents the city center where people gather. So let's look at the concept of this glyph. And I'm not speaking authoritatively, I'm just going the best from the research that we've done. You see an X. It represents crossroads. In some people's research, since they see this X blue, they say it represents a crossway of canal channels or whatever. And then they would probably infer that these are the land plots. But nevertheless, we both get the same thing out of, well, some get the same thing out of it, that this is an area where people gather. Some call it a city center, a town, a community. But in the term Kemet, one of the only terms where they expand the semantic range of 049 to mean land. So think of grammatically why that is. Come on, man, we got them from every angle. Just think about why shit happened. Think about this. Check this out. If it's, see, the word is black. So you can't manipulate it if it's a black town, because that can't mean nothing else. It's just going to be a black town. You can't manipulate it if it's a black city, because what you gonna say? The black city has something to do with the soil? Nor can you manipulate it if it's a black community. The black community had something to do with the soil? But how can you manipulate this 049 glyph? If you expand its semantic range and say that it means land. Then you could take this term, black land, and say that means something other than the other ones that box you up. Because black city box you up, black community box you up. You can't say that's about nothing else. So, indeed, this is what has been revealed, that it seems that in this instance, the semantic range of 049 has been expanded. Now, when I mentioned this to Jonathan Winterman, he brought me back two words that have the word for land in them. If I pull up the dictionary, let me see if I still got my dictionary on that. Why wouldn't my dictionaries be on deck? If I pull up the dictionary and I type the word land, you're going to see it say ta. So if he say ta, you're disqualified. Because you just said land. You trying to tell me the symbol mean land, not the word. I mean, there's so many words for land in here, but we all know the one they're talking about. I should just put ta in here and use the dictionary better. So we got that. See, ta, land, a cubit. We can see many. That's not the one you want. There, you could take that one. There's plenty of them. Ha, ta, ta. There's a land measure. Every time you see ta in these words, it means land. Here you go, ta. Let me make it big. Y'all see that? So ta mehu is ta mehu, the field land, or some will say the northern lands. Right? Here go ta mehu right here. That should be. Yeah, the delta ta mehu. Now notice they don't even say the delta land. I'm just tripping off that. But let me keep getting to the point. So this is just a masculine rendition of this. This is a feminine rendition, some would say. Some could argue against that. Well, then let's just say this T represents something abstract, right? Well, then where's the T right here? It's probably just omitted because the place was still called Kemet. And this rendition just had it omitted. I remember it come from like Ramses or something like that. But this is the term Kemet. With an 049 glyph, now we know it ain't nothing about it meaning the black stilt. And the best definition we got from Dr. Jonathan Winterman was that which is black. So you don't really have to ask if this means that which is black and it has an 049, which means a town or a city, then it's a black city, a black community, a black place where people gather. Now I said a black place where people gather. I didn't say a place where black people gather. Did you notice that? But the grammar and the reality, you know, they are tied together. So, because we're trying to figure out why is this black city, why is this a black community or black gathering of people? Now, if I take you to Dr. Mario Beatty, another esteemed scholar in this, did he say this was a neo-geopolitical term that arose in the 12th dynasty under particular circumstances? And the incursion of foreign people caused themselves to come up with he says socio, not neo, a socio-geopolitical term. Right? Saying that this was the black city. This is the black community. These are the black people. Now, if we look at what Dr. Mario Beatty said about this, we got some real questions. And the questions seem to support Dr. Mario Beatty's argument. The most entertaining to me, I don't know if that was a good word, question is, we already know Kemet don't mean the black suit. But here's another question along those lines. If Kemet meant the black suit, why would they come up with this name in the 12th dynasty? What about the black silk became significant in the 12th dynasty. That would cause you to start saying that this is the black land in the 12th dynasty. Wasn't silk running since way before the African, since, I don't know those time periods. I'm going back millions of years. In my head, you trying to tell me the silk just popped up? So we know that ain't the case. The question is, what conditions caused ancient Egyptians to call their, and I can prove this to you with primary sources, their small little region, Kemet, not all of Egypt. Do you know that? Man, let me come on the screen. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I need to look at people even though I'm small. Look, do you know that when the name Kemet came out, it had nothing to do with all of Egypt? There's no scholar, and even in the same video, you could go watch it. It's called Discussions with Egyptologists. Dr. Jonathan Winterman also, he didn't all the way admit, but he alluded to the evidence that we found being very strong in making the case that Kemet was not all of Egypt. Why would that be significant? For two reasons. For one, we beating the dead horse with this black silk stuff, but the black silk run all through Egypt. Top to bottom. When I say top, I'm deep down in Africa. Top to bottom. The part of the Mediterranean, that's the butt of Egypt. That's the lower bottoms. The top, the head of Egypt, you down south. So to now run from the top to the bottom, then you tell me, and they've been doing it for millions of years, then you have to tell me what, answer this scholastically, what caused ancient Egyptians to start calling themselves the Black Land because of the silk in the damn 12th dynasty? You see, I would go with what Dr. Mario Beatty said. What happened was all these foreign people start taking power in this time period. And so there was a need for a socio-geo political term. All right? Brother Reggie argues that Kemet, the geographical term, came during the time of irregular flooding, not about black fertile soil. Yeah, we could even look into the concept. Man, I'll do it with the dictionary. Let me do it with the dictionary. You can look into the concept of fertility from the ancient Egyptian perspective. It don't really exist. Watch this. So I put fertile in there. They got 4 words for it. Now watch how this works. To make fertilizer or to make fertile. That's a good one. But I would ask you to scrutinize the use of this term and see how abundant it is. We've done all of this. I think it was used like once or twice. Now look, they asking if this means fertile soil. Do y'all see some Kemet anywhere? You don't. But we're questioning this this concept of fertility that we have nowadays. And I'm about to show you something, but we have to go into the text corpus and not the dictionary for you to show you that. But what you will get, the challenge is to do an inquiry on the use of the term fertile or any of the terms fertile in ancient Egyptian texts, and then do an inquiry on the use of the term for virility in ancient Egyptian texts. And look, you're going to be outweighed with this male perspective that it was not the receiver as like the soil, it was the seed placed into the soil. And then when it came to the life-giving properties, we could look at what, it wasn't Strabo. It was either Plutarch or Strabo. We can look at what Plutarch said, that the ancient Egyptians gave reverence to water. They thought that the life-giving properties came from moisture, not from black silk. But you can see moisture in plenty of terms that got to do with life coming on. As you think about a seed being in the womb and male fertilizer and all of these things. But let's keep going. To fertilize, to copulate, or to be fertile. Well, now, look at this. This is what I tried to tell you. You see male genitalia. First of all, you see an egg right here. Right? This ain't how you read the glyphs. I'm just showing you. You see an egg in the hand. This is just a glyph for fire. And you see the determinative for a phallus. But you see the phallus and the aspect to let you know that this papyrus roll, let you know is the abstract concept. The concept isn't feminine. They even thought fertility to be a masculine thing. So why, what sense do that make in the argument? Because the soil was a receiver. And in order to become fertile, it receives seed. And you can see that concept in humans. And so you can see how the elementary concept developed to the ancient Egyptian. That this concept of this magical fertile soil, y'all made that up. We look through all the texts. They don't even got no soil, no black silk god. They got gods of everything, whatever you want to call them. I don't want to call them gods. Neteru of everything. They don't got it on no damn silk. They didn't even care about that. They got Happy, the god of the Nile flood, because the water was thought to have life-giving properties. Let's get back to it. We got to expound so much as archers, because I ain't even got to what I'm trying to get to. What you see here is nothing to take this too far past the black cities, the black community, the place where people gathered, right? That which is black. How about that? Now, what about this one? Because I'm going to put out a challenge, and it probably could be met. But I don't believe Asar when he said there was more than 2 or 3 attestations to this. So you can just prove me wrong, and it's probably in your book. I don't got the new work. I am still going to get it. That's my bad. I still be supporting, right? But I'm saying, I heard Asar Imhotep say, when I questioned him on this, that there was more than 2 to 3 attestations of this rendition of Kemet. So if it's more than 2 to 3, I'm thinking if you got 4 or 5, you cool. I'm not tripping. But I'm thinking like 6. But if you got 4 or 5, you cool. If you got 3, you cool to me. Because I know you only got 2. You might have 3 because you do this research. But my question is, these guys who built this argument that Kemet couldn't mean black people or whatever Dr. Sheikh Ntijop said, black community, because it has this, it's found with this N23, I think, glyph. Let me check that. I know that's N23, but I'm about to check that, right? So you want to know how to check that, you go like this. Just say Gardner N23. What happened? Escape. I'm just going to check it real quick. N23, right? Yeah, the irrigation canal. See what I'm saying? So that's N23. Look. So what I'm saying is, because there's an irrigation canal on N20, which is N23, on about 3 attestations of Kemet, cats came to the conclusion that Kemet got to mean something about water, riparian. It means it's a riparian land. Because we found these 3 renditions. Man, I could tell they didn't even do the homework on N23. Man, y'all want to have some, but N23 is found on so much stuff that beat the brakes off that theory. N23 is in personal names. Personal names that don't got nothing to do with the water. N23 is on all kind of stuff. Hold on, what are you talking about? Let me show you something. Show me what page is more than 3. You lying your whack ass off, Side 12. Put the page number or get kicked out. Because you're doing a capital smash, come on. So put the page number that got more than 3 of these in a SARS book or get up out of here. Thoroughly kicked up out this time. This nigga gonna play me. Now you playing bluff because I ain't got the book. I'm about to go over here and see if I got the book. Uh-oh. It ain't in this book. But I put that out kind of quick on you, Side 12, huh? Oh, now you say, oh, it's the newer book. Put that out kind of quick. Then he say, see how you switch books when I turned around? I know you're right. I know you're not joking. But you're going to have to screenshot that for us. Because that shit, I want to see the more than 3. I don't mind learning. Shit. I don't believe it. I think it's like 2 or 3. Just like I said. So show me the more than 3. I could tell you the 2 or 3 and where they from. Don't stop playing with me. Side 12, you talking about what's in this book. Let me tell you what's in the walls of Kemet. So there is one of these that is, some say it's from the 11th dynasty, but if you do the homework, it's actually kind of crazy that it appears to be from like the 9th dynasty, right? It appears to be like from the 9th dynasty. And then the second one, in my memory, I'm about to tell you. You said page 62 in the newer book. Maybe you could, if you got the book, you could screenshot and email it to me so I could clear him of what I said. And if not, I can't do no more because I got the wrong book. I think I got another one. Let me see if it's enough. No, I don't got his newest, latest work. I can't front. But you said the newer book. I have to get this in the shelf without messing it up. Do that in a minute. So, the point why I said 6, the reason why I said 6 attestation is because, and I will wait for SOT 12 to, that's a riparian in disguise. I'll wait for SOT 12 to come. He said page 62. You know I'm going to remember that forever, bro. And if I buy the book and it ain't on that motherfucker, you getting fried, bro. God, you can just email it to me. SOT right now. Take the picture, please. So if it ain't more than 6, let me tell you the charge. Off of the 3 attestations that my limited research has been able to present, they built an argument that Kemet couldn't mean black people because of these 3 attestations. It got nothing to do with people. But if we continue, we find Kemet like this. The number of attestations with Kemet the Bull is about, no, don't start with that. Don't start with that bullshit promoting the book. Either email me page 62. I ain't fucking with nothing else you talking about. So how you, then you fake. You faked in the motherfucker. You don't got the book on hand, but you know off the back of your head that it's on page 62. Anybody rocking with that? Just tell me that. If that's how y'all get down in the streets. If we standing on the streets, you don't know, you didn't, you got his book memorized. You wrote the book. You a SAR. How the hell you got his book memorized? Y'all rock like that in the streets? Somebody tell you it's on page 62, but they ain't got the book. How the hell you know? You just got it memorized? I ain't fucking with you no more, bro. You on some bullshit. Yeah, that's cap. That's what they call cap. But just to keep it straight, and I don't want to get too distracted. He said it's on page 62 of the newer book. When I say email, he say he ain't got the book. Oh man, how you know? But you could be right, because you could be getting text messages. You getting text from the author. I'm not mad, but I don't rock with nobody who say some shit like that. I would have started thinking you was on some fake shit. Like if we was in real life, you kind of like, I'm suspicious of you now. You know what I'm saying? Like you might do anything now saying some shit like that. But anyway, let me get back to the scholarship. I just sang through you hella quick. We asked for the source. You gave us a page hella fast just to give us one. You could be researching this as much as us, and I got to give you your credit. Because I got certain page numbers, remember, like page 26 in the Oxford Handbook of Nubiology. So you could have that, remember, but you ain't got past my spidey senses, bro. So let's do this right here. We got Kemet the cattle, maybe. I don't want to give a number, but it's not as abundant. But there's no challenge, y'all, to when we see this renditions of Kemet, where the determinative or the classifier, what you want to call it, is a cattle. There's no question that they're talking about black cattle in this rendition. No one questions that. Now, if you go back to what the Egyptologists tried to do, if you think about it, they don't even question that this is a black city. They just tried to modify it. They said black land. You can look at Alessandra Nibby's work on the subject, and she questioned that shit in the 70s. She was like, this is a black city. What the hell this got to do with the land? So now we see black city, black community. So what's this? That's the question. They say, oh, this means black, something that has to do with agriculture, black. And if you make that mean soil, then you done lost it. But that's what they hinge their argument on. So when we come down to the rendition that Sheikh Antijoke hinged his argument on, it was purported that there's only 2 renditions of this, and it's not strong enough to build an argument on. And so this is why the question hinged around this dude promoting the book. Shout out to Asar in Disguise. Page 62 is dope, but you ain't got, oh yeah, you saw him on a video. Oh, you saw him on video going over that at the station. Okay, so you can share the video. So I can clear things up. You know, I like to be fair and honest. If you say you got more than the 3 that we know about, I want to see the other 3. Now, all right, I can't look at I can't read what you write no more, Side 12. So with this, I could probably present to us at least, being humble, 5 attestations of this rendition. I could do it right now. You feel me? But some of them, somebody said, all good, woo. Yeah, that got to be woo. Shout out to Woo. You know you can come sliding through, bro. Man, when y'all was little kids and y'all had a fight, y'all didn't come back to the block for hella long. I remember I got like kicked all up under the truck. I was crying, but everybody was bigger. They was all bigger than me. They was like, you know what I'm saying, junior high, high schoolers. I was big, but I was still in elementary though. But my size had me hanging out with some older people. Man, I was back on the block the next day. What are y'all doing? You feel me? like I'm just to ask somebody. Hey, T-Dogs, you in the chat? Hey, my childhood friend in the chat. Do you not remember when they was kicking me up under the it was the van by a little truck by Jason House. I think it was Mark P and all the, hey, that was hella funny. I was boo-hooing all up under the truck. That was my hiding place because they was doing me so bad. I started hiding up under the car, bro. Look, you can't remember that, T. Hey, you can't remember that. Hey, you can't remember that. Hey, I was boo-hooing. Hey, the next day, I was right back on the block, bro. I was like, what's up? We out here. Because it wasn't really that. It was just like, you know what? This is what we do. You know, but that day I had told myself when I went in the house, I was like, I'm about to start being like more rough with people. Because cats is hella rough with me. You feel me? I told myself, I don't even remember holding my own. All I remember is being up under that truck and everybody trying to kick me and shit. I remember I was hiding though, but it was cool. It was like fun, y'all gotta remember. It wasn't like we was all homies. It was just my turn. Maybe it was my birthday. I don't know what it was. Cause I never got targeted like that, but I remember that. I don't know what that was over. But anyway, that was hella funny. I think I was just the target that day, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm off the subject. Maybe 5 or 6 renditions of this. I could probably just pull some up right now. Let me see. And some of them that they like to throw out are different. But the most common ones people talk about was from Simroset. But in that same text, there's 2 Simroset, when they talk about this term, Kemet, there's another text that people overlook, and it got the use of the word Kemu often. And so I didn't find another esteemed linguist, is he a triple or double? He's a double PhD. He emailed me and told me to put this in my book. And this was like kryptonite for some of the haters. Let me see if I can find it. So first of all, this is for Sot 12, just to let you know how we do. Look, I don't do my research from page 62 of their book or something. I got the damn sources right here. You see that what's underlined? That's Kemet with the canal glyph, right? You see it? What dynasty is this? So now look, it's say the 6th dynasty, but let me tell you something. This is what I'm trying to show y'all my other research, but just trust me. The scholars were wrong back then. They just didn't, this was done before they knew. And they thought this, if you look up the Grabs de Mena, right? It ain't 6th dynasty, but they thinking it might be 9th dynasty or 11th dynasty. Now you got to remember, a dynasty is a family of rule. Even though that family ruled in a particular time period, the dynasty was about, they could say the 9th dynasty. That was going on while the 11th dynasty was going on, if I'm not mistaken. But y'all see that right there. I ain't saying my research ain't limited. But I'll show you another one. These ain't nothing but out the back of the TLA. Mentuo kept. Well, we see the 3049 glyphs on it. But if we keep going, let me see. Here we go. Hey, Woo, put up page, you can email me page 62. Just use you can do that, bro. I'm calling Sot. Nah, that ain't Woo, really. But he's just a riparian knight. The last one standing. Now, this is crazy because in this line up here, they're talking about all of Egypt when they say Tamari. Now, even though it got the 049, if we look at how they talk about, how this sentence is broke down, it's like the people, so these people is northern people. Riketi. Some people will say they are all the commoners, but what you'll find out is Riketi was kind of like northern people. Why would I block you from an email, bro? Hell no. Email me. You tripping. If you got page 63, I would like to show the people in defense of their argument. I'm not on it like that. So I don't believe you. I know you capping. That's why I'm so open and willing to show it. But what I believe don't mean it's the truth, bro. I understand that I don't believe some shit and it be true. Feel me? So if you could prove that truth, don't think I'm gonna forget page 62 though. So this is like the Riketi though, I guess you could say that, belonging to now someone said because there's a hair right here, that is upon Kemet. But that ain't the only way you can use this hair, this glyph right here. So now if they talking about, I don't want to have to read the whole shit. It's not hard, but it's like he made, I ain't even been reading. So this is like, I guess this is not peace, this is ma'at, but I think this is a measurement, right? So he made this is a measurement. He made a measurement upon his desert lands. We don't even read in Metanetta no more. That's the old way. So he created a measurement or a division. Mot, trust me. Look, when let me see if I can find it. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Dang. Make a new king. I don't know what they talking about. But I just see Mod here, besought upon his land of his son, and then you got Raneb, Rataui or Raneb Taui. But I don't want to start reading Medu. So something about listening. Look, I can't stop. He heard it, or something about heard it belonging to something he heard about. This, I don't know what this bird is, but I'm not about to get into that. This is Netu. You know how fun it is to get caught up reading Medu. So it's like he heard something. He heard it belonging to, so he heard something belonging to the whole land. Let's see what they say over here. Oops. I went to a different text. All right, I got caught up. I was just showing y'all those two renditions, and that's not even why I came here. I came to show other renditions of that black text. Let's see if I can find it. So apparently, this don't say nothing about black, but I want to show this since I pulled it up. Because if we start reading these two lines, they're talking about different people in Kemet. And as they mention these different people, they mention all Southerners. But like if you start at this group right here, y'all see that? These are like Southern bowmen. It says, I own to you. But some will say it says, I own to you, Paget. Paget, I own to you. They probably won't say Paget. I own to you, I own to you. That's what it says. Right? You go to TU Bird if anybody's wondering. And you can see, so these are Southern bowmen. Now, if you look at where the new sentence starts right here, at this U, we see something that looks crossed out. It says, Shenekti. Shenekti. I don't know these people. Right? And they got a foreign land determinant here. But look, peep gang. They talking about Southern Egyptians, or you can check me if I'm wrong. Now we got, then that's kind of throwing me off. But these next group of people, and it's because of how this is written out, these next group of people right here are the Sun people. And this is why I wanted us to trip off this. I know I'm taking us off course, but I heard some people argue that the Sun people has something to do with black people. Now, that's not my argument, but I want people to see the connotation of this particular text. This group of Sun people is referenced around these Southern. We know that this Ayuntiyu are Southern bowmen, and those is mostly associated with Nubians. I don't necessarily know these people right here, but I probably could read the German and get more on it. But when we get down here, we're talking about the sun people. You can see the sun right here. Now let's talk about this because the fix is in when we get to the sun people. First, I'm gonna finish telling you what to say. They talk about the sun people, and then we have a neighbor with an H and an S, Nehes. Nehes. So this is the people that they call Nubians. But this is what I want you to trip off. This is an indirect genitive right here, right? Genitives is about possession. So in this indirect genitive, nehesi, first of all of these nouns in conjunction can be part of this indirect genitive. Meaning you could say the sun people, and by by connection, you say the sun people and, because this is what is implied here, the sun people and the Nehesi. Now what we see right here, anybody know what this is? I'm gonna show you, hella big. It's a new ball. That's a new ball. This constitutes that noun A and all of the noun A's. All of these are noun A's because by connection, you're going to say and. Let me show you. Dione to you, Bowman. Well, this one is stopping you from saying and. Let me show you what I mean. That lets me know that this Ayun to you Bowman word is ending off this upper sentence up here because we have a U right here, which lets us know a new sentence is starting. Therefore, I couldn't claim that there was a connection between these Bowman. I'm talking about the grammatical connection and or conjunction. But right here, it would be the Bowman, not and, so it's starting a new statement of fact right here. So now it's these people and the sun people and the Nehesi belonging to. Now this would kill him. This new ball is belonging to. The grammar kills him. But you're taking this like the property of. No, that's not it. A noun does belong to the B noun, but not in a sense of ownership like that. I mean, it is in the sense of ownership, but it's in the sense of relation. So these are, you don't want to say belonging to, you say of. Of in the sense of belonging to, though, you feel me? These are the Nehesi, are the Nubians of Egypt. Now that causes a problem. Because even in this attestation, if you want to call this Egypt like I just did, you're forced to include these people that you said was not part of Egypt into Egypt when looking from this ancient Egyptian perspective. This isn't said to be the subjects of Egypt. These are those belonging to Egypt. But let's keep it popping. Because I'm all over just having fun and looking through these old texts. And still to keep it thorough, we got to pull up these renditions, right? So when I said I'll get to the SARS claims and stuff as we come across them, and we'll try to show more of those other renditions. But when I looked over this text with Dr. Jonathan Winneman, what was pointed out here is that what I call a definite article and what he called a demonstrative pronoun, ta right here, the argument was whether it meant the or this. The reason why is because it's like, and then what? And then one started, upon fighting in this Egypt. That don't make no sense, right? And so what I argue in this translation that is revealing that everything they did about the translation of this term Kemet to get it away from meaning black and a black community and a black city of people is revealed when you scrutinize these other sources. And that's what Dr. Jonathan Winneman was saying also, that this research that I'm doing is getting at that. Because how could they say this? If you have this Egypt, then by default there is a that Egypt. Because this and that work together. If it's only one car, it's not grammatically correct. I mean, you might find instances to say this car, but it's the car. All right, say it's 500 cars on the lot. If I say go get a car, you can get any of the 500 cars off the lot. So that is an indefinite article. If I say get the car, even if it's 500 cars, the car indicates a particular car. So then that eliminates, you can't get any of the 500 cars. You got to get the car, the one I'm talking about. That's a definite article, right? Now, if you came back with the car and I said, this car is weak, it implies that there are other cars that are that car. Because that car is better. This car is weak. So how can you have a demonstrative pronoun this Egypt without having a that Egypt? And he had to agree that don't make no sense grammatically. Where he said it is strange for them to say. Well, I'm telling you it's strange because this is not I argue that this is not a demonstrative, but this is actually the definite article, the. And then we understand that this means black community. It's too hard to get around it. The black city. The black city south of the town, of this town. So this is just another demonstration that fighting did not break out in the black soil. or in the black silk, but it broke out where it broke out. Let me see if I can find those other attestations. One of those pictures was green. I don't see the green one, so maybe I'll just pull it up when I can pull it up. If I ever so need to, but I'm not really about to trip too hard. All right, so let me just see something. So why did Brother Aunt abandon Dr. Ma'at's work while leeching on her YouTube page? Tell them to go on there and say Mel Trex is some bullshit. They wasn't black. Let me show y'all something. You have to do hard homework to do this, to get this right here. Somewhere over here, and I'm giving you the homework because it's so hard to find. In this column, this is Orchison. If I'm correct, if it was 3 of them, it might be the third. Could be the second, but I'm just going off memory. I should have that written down up here. But this is, a stone stele with his recordings on there. And there is a address to what could be a prominent figure, or it could be to the god, the Netcher, Osiris, in his effigy as the black man. Right? Particularly using those terms in the text corpus, the ancient Egyptian text corpus. And what we find out is they must be watching our shows or something. Are they scrutinizing their work? Because at first, it said the reward from this black man. So let's think of this scenario. Let me explain this to you. This statue was found in a tomb of one of the Orchisons or whatever. And on this side of it, he had inscribed some very kind words. And the kind words were to address, it seemed like he found him as an orphan. But you can read it for yourself, because ain't no books on this. So you just gotta go into the text corpus and read what they say, or do how we do and try to figure it out for yourself. But he's talking about a, let's just say a man who attended to him for his whole life, and it appears to be a youth, a younger man than him. And he's lower in stature because of whatever. So he says, and this is how we know that they knew that they mixed up the text. It was one word they could have translated as for or from, and they translated it as from. And then it didn't make too much sense. But it was like the reward from this black man is that his life is extended eternal, is that his life is extended, right? And that he receives the same blessings that he bestowed upon the deceased. because he wasn't a servant, but the younger man who tended to Orkeson, y'all got to hear this out, feel it. The younger man who tended to Orkeson did such a good job that even in his dying days, he said the reward for him was that his life be extended. Now, think about how they tried to translate it at first. They tried to translate it like the black man. They clearly say the black man in the text corpus, but they try to translate it as if the black man was Osiris or Asar or Wasir, and that the reward don't make no sense. If the black man is Osiris, then the reward to extend his life don't make no sense. The black man must have been the person who was attending to Orkeson's statue. Because if we go read the text corpus, it will say the reward for this black man. Oh, stop! I gotta go watch Texas in the NCAA. The reward, in the Elite Eight. Y'all see my girl Jordan? Hold on. Told y'all about her. I'm all over the place, but I just remembered that the NCAA game about to come on. The reward for this black man is the extension of his life, and so that some of the great things that he bestowed upon Orkeson be bestowed upon him. Right? And so in this text, we find two things. It's right around here. We find them using Kemu for a black man, and they put a determinative that some say is restricted to deity. Thanks to Brother Reggie Marbury, we've gotten to the bottom of that. And we see that there was a class of ancient Egyptians who considered themselves divine and black. There's no way around it. There is no way around it. ChatGPT, I can even catch you up. Watch this. So again, there was a class of ancient Egyptian who considered themselves divine and black. Now let's do this a different weird way. I just be asking Google stuff to prove my point. Watch this. Before I show you my presentation, then I'm gonna get up out of here. How do you say black in ancient Egyptian? So I'm just using Google to have some fun. Listen. In ancient Egyptian, the word for black is kim. Here they go with that disclaimer again. And this word also refers to the fertile dark soil left by the Nile's inundation, giving rise to the name Kemet for the country, meaning the black land. See, we already busted them out about that. But let me ask y'all a question. I asked the AI, how do you say black? Why is it talking about the fertile soil, yo? Y'all can't tell that the fix is in there? So look, what we want to extract from this is, in order to say black, in ancient Egyptian, you say kim. We could go to Sarge Sonoran, who says if they wanted to say black people, they would say Kemet or Kemu. Remember that. Not Kemet to you. Kemet or Kemu. All right? So what does it say? In ancient Egyptian, the word for black is Kim. Let's go back to my presentation now. So if you can read ancient Egyptian, you see right here the word for black. Let me take myself off the screen. You see right here the word for black. It is Kim. See? They said to say black, you say Kim. So look at this. They put the word Kim in front of this cow. So what is this? This is the black cow. To prove it, we have the red cow. And the hedge, or the shining, or the bright, or the white cow. And we have the, some say Waj, but this would be the speckled cow. Right? So we know that's black. It's still black in this word here. And this is the word for it with the hair determinative. So when we come to names like this, Kimu, as Sir Sonoran said, it's still black. What's going on with this word here? This is a name of multiple people starting around the 12th dynasty. They would just start calling themselves one who is black. Now, if you learn ancient Egyptian grammar, you're going to learn in an abstract that has a T ending, you're going to remember that which is. I'm giving you, this is a big shortcut right here. So just soak up game right now. If you see the T ending and it's an abstract, you always going to think that which is. If you see the W ending and it's an abstract, if you want to call it that, it could be called plenty of other things. Sometimes a participle. But if you see the W ending, it's no longer that which is. Never say that which is when you see the W and they formed a participle out of it. It is one who. Okay? So the T is that which is, and the W is one who is. So now in this name, this is why this was a head buster. Shout out to Herman Ranker for doing this work. This isn't my work. This is me showing you this. Now look, in this name Kimu, first let's just break it down. This name is written with the Rebus principle. So let's just say they wanted us to think the sound Kim for this and the sound Mu for this. They didn't want us to think about water. Mu is water in ancient Egyptian. But if you don't know how to read the rebus, then you ain't gonna know. Now, the only determinative in this name is right here, apparently. And that's weird, right? And so why is the determinative after the root Kim and before the Mu? As if Mu was something else completely different. Well, one thing we have for certain is that since they put this hair determinative here, we know that the person, the scribe who wrote this, wanted us to focus on the color. That is why you do this. This is a classifier that indicates that you should focus on the color of the first term. Now, think about this. This is a personal name. Okay? In the personal, that means you called a person this. And when you called that person this, the grammar indicates that you should pay attention to the color. Kimu, one who is black. No way around it. There's plenty of ways around it, but see, the other renditions of the way that this name is spelled will start to take away some of the ways they'll try to get around it, saying that this is Kim and then a Mu. Look at this. This is Kimu, and this is the most found renditions of the term. 7 times. So this is one who is black. This means people called themselves black. You can't start with the what does black mean stuff. You can do that as some additional research later. But right now you're just dealing with the fact that these people called themselves black. In the Rock Tombs of Mi'er, book number 4, you find in the main room east wall attestations to 2 brothers that let you know that not only was they calling themselves colors, but everybody wasn't called black. So here we got 2 brothers. So if you're thinking like a race, you're messing up. Notice I didn't say the word race until right then. Because in my homework and in my argument, what we find is that the concepts of race had not developed yet. And people seeing themselves as, thanks to Brother Reggie Marbury, we now know that it is elemental to understanding this. People seeing themselves as herds when you talk about big groups of people. In a time of the ancient Egyptian, they didn't say races. They wasn't talking about races. They talked about different herds of people. Now, strangely enough, the word for herd that was used the most was for a herd of cattle. Winjut. Winjut is a word that can mean a herd of cattle or my particular people. Remember this. Winjut don't mean all people. It comes from a term for a small horned cattle. Winjut. And it's also a word for a one unit. But the word Winjut, said like that, you don't know if I'm talking about a herd of cattle or a group of people. You want to know why? Because to the ancient Egyptian, they're the same thing. Let me show you in the dictionary. If I put W-N, capital D-W-T, you're going to see how these words all work with each other. Watch this. That's not what you're looking for. Now look, this is what you're looking for. First, notice this. The word for Winju, I gotta make it smaller because for some reason my computer is lagging when I do that. It says short-horned cattle or calves. If you look at the glyphs, damn, why my computer acting so bad with this Adobe? If you look at the glyphs, the only difference between the word for short-horned cattle and associates, people, and inhabitants are the Uchiks and the determinatives. Right? But I want you to look at something else. Let's come down here. So it's associates, people, or inhabitants, but look. Associates, occupants, tenants, inhabitants, people. Damn, this seems like it's gonna mess my computer up. But what is Winjut when we come right here, or Winjeet? It is cattle. If you look at how the glyphs are written, you can see how similar these terms are. And if you didn't have the determinatives in some instances, you wouldn't know if they was talking about people, fellow human beings, or cattle. Now, the dictionary don't tell you enough to say people, fellow human beings. If you go do the homework, you'll find out it's not any type of people, it's your people, your particular people. And it say over and over again in the text corpus, my people. So what do they mean when they say my people, if it wasn't no races? They thought like herds. Excuse me. They thought like herds. So they're particularly saying my herd or my tribe. For some reason in this family here, we call them the blacks. I didn't make that up. Herman Rankin, no, Albert Blackman made that up. Albert Blackman in his book, The Rock Tombs of Mier. And the reason why I called them that is because they called themselves that. So as I've shown you, when we see that glyph right here, it means black. And this is a black cattle because they put the glyph in front of the cow. It's adjective describing the cow. It doesn't change when you do that with a human. See? Right here. This is happy. Happy Kim. The Kim is still in the adjectival position. They want us to say this is happy to black. And the further evidence we have of this, look at these three symbols you see. You see a H, a P, and an I. Happy. Right? If you come over here, you see a H, a P, and an I, but you get more information. It says his son right here. See? His son. Happy Jasher. Jasher isn't Kim. So now we see Happy the red and Happy the black. Now, if you thinking race, you messed up. But if you thinking descriptors like my man Pan-African James said, you right on point. They describing him as black. Now, if we learn about the word Kim, we see it has a semantic range of describing things that are darker. If it's used as a comparative term, the one called Kim is darker. But when used as a comparative term, the one called Kim does not have to be black. If you take red and burgundy, burgundy is Kim because it's darker than the red. Likewise, if you got Happy Jasher and Happy Kim, Blackman wrote in the footnotes of his book that it doesn't mean that happy is red and happy is black. He said it means that this is the lighter brother and this is the darker brother. The darker brother is Kim. So in all instances, Kim is leading back to describing black people. Like, only way you could discredit what I said is if you try to put my argument, if you try to frame my argument in as if I'm talking about race. We talking about their physical descriptions. One was lighter, one was darker. And it's written right here. Happy Kim, happy Jasher. It's not an anomaly. It happens over and over in the text where we continue to see the use of Kim. Here we see black skin being described, and they're talking about, they use the word for skin. So, I ain't scared to say Kemet mean black people, because here's a black person who went by the name Ta Kimi. Now notice in the word, in this name Ta, he said it's a demonstrative pronoun, but he still put the. That's incorrect. The would not be a demonstrative pronoun. The would be an indefinite article. Yet Herman Ranker said it was a demonstrative pronoun. So that means it would say this black one, this dark one. You see? But this isn't my work, so I had to put it on the screen. In the book, he says in the book, middle names and persons and names of the Middle Kingdom, he says, the people who bore the name Ta Kimi, the meaning to their name was the dark one. Where is he getting dark? From the fact that Kim means black, and the semantics range of dark is part of that. I ain't missing this game. I'm tripping. I got a root for my girl Jordan Lee. So watch the game, watch Texas against Texas Christian, and watch Jay Lee get busy. She had 13 points. She a freshman. She had 13 points last game, and she gonna keep on killing them. This game she might have 15, 16. But when it comes down to Kemet, the question is answered by the people who bore the personal name Kemet. There's no scholar who says that the people who bore the personal name Kemet was talking about the nation. Like, you know how some Mexican people will name their kid America? America, come here. I know a little girl named America. What's up, America? Shout out to you. Right? Kemet wasn't like that. As you see on the screen, when people call themselves individuals, now think about this. When individuals called themselves Kemet, Herman Ranker has worked out that this meant the dark one. And this was a feminine name. Men would call themselves Kim. Isn't it a singer named Kim? That's a man and he hella dark. Well, he's perfectly appropriate. Kim. And Kemet means the dark one, feminine. Now, let me ask you a question. Even though these E's are injected in there, we don't know if there's E's really. We just know it's a K and an M and a T. But Kemet, meaning that you a dark person, and then Kemet for the community, we got a 049 glyph that means a community, then that's a dark community. Like, how's y'all getting away from this? How is Kemet meaning the black one? Because he's just being humbled by always saying dark here. Kim don't mean dark. Kim means black, but dark with this is within its semantic range. You see? You're not wrong if you say Kim for dark, but it means black. Just like all right, whatever. Just like if you turned off the lights, you're going to see black. You're not going to see dark. You're going to describe the blackness as dark. So dark is a description of blackness still. And it's a magnitude of blackness. Ain't no way around that. If it's dark, it got some blackness in it. That's what they're saying. So when they express Kemet, when they talk to these individuals, they were talking about a physical quality of darkness. So why then, when they start talking about a collective of those individuals, is it not talking about the physical quality of darkness anymore? And I think I'm about to let it rest at that. Let me see. Hold on. We could get the old school. We could go old school. Oh, no, we can't. We can't because I'm going to miss the game. I was going to open up the chat and miss the game. And I got to go do some business too. Run to the bank. So let me just say, I don't have any problem with standing behind all of that research and the materials and said that, we got attestations that let us know that Kemet directly was talking about, in a lot of instances, physical appearance of the people who must have been black because they called themselves that. See, the problem is we think black was created sometime soon. As soon as first of all, the first thing the universe knew was blackness. Like, really. Now, when some sentient or some intelligent beings came into existence, eventually intelligence, it developed into where we learned how to categorize and describe things. So some of the first things you're going to be forced to describe, not even the elements, it's going to be that darkness that you see at nighttime, the way that it be bright, because you're a sentient being on this earth, and it just, what do? It get black for 12 hours. When you start describing stuff, no matter what language you speaking, you got a way to describe that. Even in the most primitive languages, you could probably go back to the click-clack languages and find out how to say black. Of course you can. Right? So it's not saying that it got anything to do with the Black Power movement of the 70s. That's something that came out of all these social constructs. But identifying that they were the color of the cosmos, that they were the color, even if you want to be so gracious to say that they were the color of the Black Now suit. They didn't say that the Black Now suit was called Kemet. Black is Kemet. You get it? So they were Kemet, black cattle were Kemet, but the soil was never Kemet. It was Amat Kemet, so they still lose on that one. And when you had a collective, as I could show on the screen, some would try to argue that this is a Kemet TU, but there's nothing solid for us to even make that argument. So I got to get to my thing, man. I'm going to be back streaming. Thanks for y'all for tapping in. This show got some contributions today. I appreciate y'all. Yo, I be wanting to be on and I be wanting to stream more, but I don't be having. Sometimes I just can't. So I'm not the best for trying to be like a everyday streamer for you. But I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be bringing this information. When people start talking that crap, we get back out here on the front line. You feel me? But I'm going to let that be that. And I appreciate all y'all. And I'm going to say with most certainty that it can be argued with an authoritative, formidable argument that Kemet means black people. Straight up. Shout out for the contributions. Thanks for the cash apps. I just felt the phone go off. Come on, y'all. Blow it up. Smash rock. Appreciate y'all.
Your boy Uncle Cat, that's my #1 fan. Your first I never debate, I put it in your hand. Your niggas never been out of America. Penang, Khartoum, I'm the man of Sudan. Now watch me do my end zone dance. Is that your friend home? It depends on chance. And my pen gone. Where your old homies at? Oh, they been gone. The bearers shoot like Genesis. I ain't even keeping the score. These are scrimmages. Look at them attached to smash these appendages. That's why you ain't got no content. Every show you do, you steady talking about my shit. At your last show, Greg, it really wasn't it. You said Jabari stole the debate and threw a fit. I'm in Rock Squad, everybody see the split. And Magi the only ones left in this bitch. That's why I took the Facebook group from you. And you ain't try to tell nobody that. He like a fiend, get robbed and be cool as long as don't nobody know. Yeah, that's how he act. Pip squeak pipe down. You ain't got no scholars, but you said you got you wiped down. Juju got you wiped down. Gozy got you wiped down. It's like your show. I'm killing pseudos right now. And you can't read that metal that I write down. Then I prove Kemet mean black people. They tight now. Said I smack your ass, bully. Don't wanna fight now. Few of these give a nigga Z's with the night down. And teach a nigga about the smack migration. Had atheist dudes pouring black libations. Cause the Mac tried patience, but they acted like they hard-headed. So fuck it, they could all get it. That's right, I bust your pinata, act like Nepal said it. Y'all edit up videos that give your dog credit. Authentic author, carcinogenic artists. Y'all should caution your authors. It's been a minute since I checked these feminine minutes. They timid with it, it's Magi for life. And Kemet winning, unlimited images invented by Kemet women. Celestial pools of life, and I'm swimming in them. Finna kill them, they snakes, they ain't got no venom in them. Really never watched their shows, I'm done dealing with them. When I hear your voice, it's hard to feel a nigga. Sister Naya wrote your book and it was 30 pages. Hey, they jealous of Jabari. The Magi bring the ladies and the fellas to the party. Just embellishing my intelligence, hell if I be Gotti. Magi just caught a body. I don't know, and they ain't got no recourses. Get them on their show when they won't show sources. 350Z is dropped, they got horses. Little niggas tripping, should've stayed on their porches. Y'all ride poor, my nigga, we ride Porsches. Y'all Wikipedia scholars, we take courses. And the experts agree with me. Kemet on trial, wasn't nothing but G's with me. Brought my New York niggas out. Kemet straight black, yeah, you know what this shit about. Check the pinky, bro, who wearing the ring. If you see me in the streets, bitch, salute the king. I wouldn't pity a thing, I'm like Idi Amin. My committee sent me defending with the wittiest schemes. Hideous schemes, really it's the silliest thing for you to think that you could get me. On this mic, I'm more like Don Cornelius. Raise your hand if you never done an encore. I write the rhymes DJs drop bombs for. Sitting low, hitting grass with the blade spinning. That's a lawnmower. Y'all should hang that up. That Karakuni interview don't even bring that up. I mean, this the type of nigga steal Moringa from Chief X. When you strung out, stealing is a reflex. I'm killing them, they don't want no beef next. I'm the Bruce Lee of the loose leaf text. If I do seem best, I'm in a new clean test, getting charged up while you're boosting next. Hey.